Millie, a story by Wolfram Sparks, illustrated by The False Wolf. You've been with your new daddy for a few days now and have settled into your new home. Slate still has the biggest saddies though, and spends a lot of time sobbing and whining. He gets really scared now whenever you leave, so you have to be with him all the time. So you decided you'd carry him on your back all the time from now on. He doesn't like anyone except for you, not even his brother and sister, or even new daddy. Once new daddy tried to pick him up, and he screamed and screamed and screamed until daddy put him back with you. He yells at daddy for taking his eyesies, and he hates Snowy for not making good dancies, which made daddy take his eyesies. Daddy doesn't mind though. He even put a soft white thing over your baby's poopy place called a diaper, so that he doesn't have to get into the litter box when he needs to go for poopies anymore. He gave him a tiny blankie to cover him while he rides on your back. But Daddy says that he needs to walk a little bit every day because one day he'll be too big to ride on your back and he needs to get used to walking. That made you sad again. What is Slate going to do when he gets too big to ride on Mama's fluff? Garnet and Snowy are growing very fast. The manes have come through now. Snowy has a pretty light yellow mane, and Garnet has a handsome dark brown one. They're much more happy and playful than Slate. Sometimes Garnet gets upset about his wingies being gone and gets angry at Snowy, saying that he doesn't feel special anymore because he used to be the only one with wingies. And now he's just like the other babies.
I'm not feel special no more because I'm no more wingy baby. Now Garnet is like all babies. This is false, Sissy. Sissy is the dummiest puppy ever.
But you and Snowy always give him hugsies and tell him how special he is, which makes him feel better.
Because Garnet's too special to Snowy.
The two of them run around and play with all the different toys in the safe room, and sometimes Daddy brings in new toys for them to play with. Sometimes he brings in books for human babies. None of you can read the words, but they have lots of pretty pictures that Garnet and Snowy like to look at. Plus, you think Slate likes hearing Daddy read the books, even though he says he hates Daddy.
Good morning, Millie.
Good morning, Daddy.
You feel Slate squirm around on your back as you get up on all fours.
I have another treat for you today.
Snowy emerges from a hole in the big fuzzy pole to see Daddy.
It's TB. Wow, TB.
No. I have something different today. Today, I have skitties.
Your babies cry out in joy, and so do you.
Yay, Skitty's best and nummies make best and milkies for babies.
You even forgot you have Slate on your back and almost knocked him onto the floor as you jump up and down in excitement.
Okay, let's have a quiz first, though.
What a quiz, Daddy.
Well, it's when I ask a question, and whoever answers the question right gets a little treat.
Garnet looks puzzled.
Ask a question for Skitties?
No, Garnet. The skitties are only for your mama. You're too young for skitties. This quiz is for a different treat.
None of you seem to understand, but you all go along with it anyway.
Let's start the quiz then. Which one of you is white?
Snowy gets it right away.
That's Snowy. Snowy, I'm white.
Very well done, Snowy. Here's your treat.
Daddy holds out a little round white thing, which he places in Snowy's mouth. She happily suckles on the treat.
Well, let's all go into the kitchen so I can get the skitties ready. Then your mama can make it the bestest milkies for you.
Garnet looks disappointed at not getting the treat, but perks up at the prospect of sketties and follows your daddy. You waddle along after them, making sure Slate is comfortable on your back. He's gently sobbing as usual, but seems fine otherwise. Once you reach the kitchen, you see a huge plate of sketties. You almost cry with happiness. It's the most nummies you've ever seen in your life.
That was the sketty, Mama. Mama go numb all those sketties. That right, babies. Mama go numb all sketties to make bestest milkies for bestest babies.
You lean in to nuzzle him, and he rolls on his belly in delight.
Wait,
Daddy interrupts.
where's Snowy?
You look around. Snowy isn't here. Daddy sighs.
You'd better go back and get her. I can't give you these sketties unless all your babies are here. That would be unfair.
You say nothing and rush back as fast as you can. You really want those sketties. They look like the bestest nummies ever, and you want them while they're still warm. You remember old Daddy once told you about how nummies go cold and yicky when you don't eat them for a long time. When you get back, you see Snowy halfway up the climbing pole.
Calm down, baby. Time for sketties.
Snowy just snores. She's asleep. You need to wake her to get the sketties, but you can't reach her. Garnet comes in after you.
Oh, Sissy. Sissy need come. If Sissy no come, then Mama no get sketties and babies no get bestest milkies. Garnet, go up climbing pole and wake Sissy.
Garnet rushes into the pole and comes out the opening where Snowy lies asleep. He pushes her and pulls her back and forth.
Sissy, wakies. Babies want bestest milkies.
But Snowy just chirps quietly.
Please wakey, Sissy.
It's not working. Snowy isn't waking up. You feel Slate squirm a little and moves his little body further up your back, onto your mane. You coo at him softly, then turn your attention back to Snowy and Garnet.
Weenie Sissy, let Mama have sketties. Baby want bestest milkies.
You decide to go back and tell Daddy that Snowy isn't waking.
Daddy, Snowy no wakies. No one come. Can Daddy give sketties to Mama? Then Mama give bestest milkies to Snowy after?
Daddy lets out a sigh.
I'm sorry, girl. I can't do that. You all have to be here, in this room, if you want sketties.
You start to tear up. Daddy gets up, picks the plate up, and walks over to the corner of the room. Then, just as Garnet walks in without his sister, Daddy scrapes the sketties into the trashies.
No! Baby want bestest milkies. No throw sketties away.
I'm sorry, Garnet. If your sister had just come with you, rather than sleeping, I would have happily given Mama the sketties so she could make the sweetest, creamiest, best milkies. But she decided she didn't care about that. I'm sorry.
Your lip quivers. You can't say anything. Once Daddy is done throwing away the sketties, you walk with your head hanging back in the safe room. As you walk, Garnet sobs beside you, and Slate pipes up.
What happened? What happened with sketties? Baby, get bestest milkies? No sketties. No bestest milkies.
You hate having to disappoint your babies. You thought you wouldn't have to once you got a new daddy. When you get back to the safe room, Garnet rushes into the climbing pole. Then you see him come out where Snowy is still fast asleep. He pounds against her with his front hooves and screams.
Hey, Sissy! Sissy meanie! Worstest baby ever! No hurt Sissy, Garnet.
You cry up at him. But he's right.
But Snowy,
You didn't get
he's a bad
sketties
baby.
or make bestest milkies. All because Snowy decided she wanted to stay and sleep in the climbing pole. You slump down onto your blanket. Next time you give your babies milkies, you'll make sure she gets them last.
Get milkies last.
You're Slate.
Mom,
You have the
sleeping.
biggest saddies ever. You don't have eyesies anymore since your stupid, poopy sissy did an ugly dancy and made the horrible, meanie man take them. Now, you can't do anything. You can't play. You can't watch TV. You can't run around or look at your home. You just sit on your mama's back, covered in a blankie all day, sobbing and whining, only getting off to drink milkies or for the meanie man to clean you and make you walk around a little.
No like me, Daddy.
You hate it here. You hate the meanie man for taking your eyesies. You hate your sister for making stupid dances and your brother for being able to play with toys and have fun. You hate Mama for letting the man take your eyes away. You've decided to run away. It's nighttime. You know because it's really quiet and Mama is snoring and breathing deeply and the horrible man said goodnight not long ago. You wiggle a little, then drop off your mama's back. For a minute, you got scared because the fall was longer than you thought it would be. But you dropped onto the soft blankie that Mama is sleeping on. It doesn't hurt, but it shocked you, and you let out a quiet peep. But you don't think anyone else heard. Once you're up on all fours, you walk straight ahead. You don't have any idea what the room looks like because you don't have eyesies, but also because your mama carries you around everywhere and you can never tell what direction she's going. Eventually, you come to a wall. You decide to follow the wall across. You're smart enough to figure out that the wall has to lead to a door somewhere in the room. It's only a few more steps before you find it. It's a load of bars, which the horrible man must have used to trap you inside. You push your little head through the bars. It just about fits. Then you struggle with the rest of your body. You try to push through with your back leggies, but end up just suspended in the gap between the bars. You wiggle around. You want to chirp and peep for help, but you know that your mama, or the big meanie, is going to hear. So you just carry on silently like a brave Fluffy. Eventually, your front legs find the floor in front of you, and after some more struggling, you make your way out. You're free. You're out of the safe room. And this must be outside. You have the whole big open world to explore. It makes you sad that you can't do as much without your eyes, but there's still so much to do. You decide you want to try big fluffy nummies first. Your mama's milkies are yummy, but you always wanted big fluffy nummies. Mama and the horrible man said that you're still a little milky drinking baby, but you know that you're big enough for whatever big fluffies eat. What do big fluffies eat? The last you remembered was Mama numbing some flour nummies. You search around, but can't find any flour nummies anywhere. You think Mama also ate grass nummies, though, so you bend your head and take a bite of the grassies from the floor. It's really nasty. It tastes horrible, and it's too tough for you to even pull up. It's like eating fluff. No wonder Mama always preferred flour nummies and berry nummies. You decided you'll have nummies later, when you find some of the better big fluffy nummies. You don't know how you'll know when you found them without being able to see them, but you guess you'll just have a feel around until you find them. You remember there used to be flour nummies and berry nummies everywhere before the man trapped you all in the safe room. So you don't know why there aren't any here. You forget about the nummies, since you aren't really that hungry anyway. You think what else you wanted to do. Aha! You wanted to find other fluffies. Fluffies who aren't meanies. Fluffies who don't let monsters take other Fluffies see places and trap them in small safe rooms. Maybe you'll even find a special friend and have babies of your own. Mama always said that one day you'd do that. And even though she was a big dummy, you always loved the idea of having a family. A real family. You wander around, calling out for other Fluffies.
Fluffies! What Fluffies? Sweet and lonely. What other Fluffies?
There don't seem to be any other Fluffies right now. You walk around for ages and ages and ages, bumping into loads of things along the way. Probably trees and rocks, you guess. You keep going, but there really aren't any other Fluffies. Maybe, the day's already over, and it's nighttime again. You've lost track of the time completely without being able to see how bright it is. It could have been days and days and days. You're probably full grown by now as well.
Maybe.
You return to your quest to find a group of other Fluffies and a special friend. Eventually, the ground changes. The rough, fluffy grassies are replaced by a cold, hard, flat stone. You cautiously waddle along the stone and start calling out for other Fluffies again. But when you decide you don't like this place anymore, you realize you can't find your way back to the grassies. You collapse flat on your belly and make poopies and pee-pees in the diaper that the horrible man gave you.
Help! What other Fluffies? What huggies and love? Help, Slate!
You carry on for a while, but no other Fluffies come to comfort you. You just wish you had your eyes back. Eventually, you hear a click. Then a familiar, terrifying voice speaks.
Slate, what the hell are you doing in my kitchen?
No! Oh, meanie man by Slate!
You try to run, but you end up running straight into the man's grasp.
You've been a very bad Fluffy, Slate. Only the worst Fluffies try to run away.
No care!
You scream so loud. You can't see the man's face, but he must really be scared of you for shouting so loud. You almost feel bad for being so loud, but you know the man is horrible and deserves it.
Slate hate you! Hate horrible man! And hate brother! And sissy! And hate mama!
The man stops for a second, still clutching you firmly. You hate not being able to see his reaction. It makes you so scared not knowing what's going on. He speaks up.
Well, you've been a very bad Fluffy. Trying to run away from your own mama. She kept you safe. She tried to protect you. We've all been so nice to you. And this is how you repay us? You know that I have to punish you now.
The man's voice dropped as he said that. You shiver in terror. This is the most scared you've ever been.
I'm going to have to make sure this never happens again. And I'm going to have to take drastic measures.
You feel the man carry you somewhere, then put you down on some kind of surface. You struggle to break free, but he's still holding you down.
By the way,
The man speaks again.
your name isn't Slate anymore. Your new name is Lump.
You feel a pinch in your side. Then you drift off to sleep. When you wake up later, you get the feeling that something is gone.